sounds crazy, right? But if you can, just for a second, strip away all the crime. What you're left with is a masterclass in building an empire from absolutely nothing. It turns out Walter White's whole journey is one of the most fascinating business case studies you will ever find. So, first things first, we've got to get inside the mind behind the whole operation. See, Walter White wasn't just a criminal. For our purposes today, he was an entrepreneur. A ruthless one, sure, but a business genius nonetheless. So, let's open up his playbook. And hey, let's be crystal clear about this. We are not condoning any of the crime here, not at all. We're here to decode the strategy. We're going to focus purely on the three pillars of his business: the product, the distribution, and the overall strategy. Okay, so where does it all begin? Well, it all started with one single, incredibly powerful goal: create a product that was basically unbreakable. I mean, think about it. In any market, legal or not, everything, and I mean everything, starts with the quality of what you're selling. See, Walter White's genius as a chemist, that was his secret weapon. That was his core competitive advantage. He wasn't just making a commodity, he was engineering a premium product. We're talking something so pure, so powerful, that it created this insane level of loyalty and could command pretty much any price he wanted. He didn't just compete with everyone else, he literally became the market. And this right here is such a crucial distinction. Look, plenty of people were selling a product, but Walter White, he created a brand. Heisenberg's blue sky wasn't just a name, it became a legend. You know, that famous blue color, that wasn't just some random chemical quirk. It was a trademark. It was a stamp of quality that told you this was the real deal, something no one else could even come close to. And that's what makes a brand so incredibly powerful. Yeah, the 99.1% purity gave him the quality, but it was the legend of Heisenberg that created the mystique, the aura around it. And when you put those two things together, man, that potent mix just drove demand through the roof. He built a customer base that was so loyal, they simply would not accept anything else. But here's the thing. Having the best product in the world is totally useless if it's just sitting in a lab, right? You've got to get it to your customers. And this is the moment where Heisenberg the chemist transforms into Heisenberg the strategist. He had to learn how to master the art of owning the territory. You know, it's one of those fundamental rules of business that's surprisingly easy to forget. How you sell is just as important as what you sell. Your sales channels are everything. And for whatever reason, Walter White understood this on a gut level. And check this out. His distribution model wasn't just one thing. It was a total masterclass in how to scale a business. He started out small, direct sales, just a classic two-man startup with him and Jesse. Then he pivoted to what was basically a franchise model, using local dealers to expand his reach. And when he needed to go big, like really big, he forged that high-stakes strategic partnership with Gus Fring. Every single step was a calculated move to completely dominate the market. Now, this also shows us let's call it a darker side of sales: leverage. Walt was a master at identifying the pain points of everyone around him, his partners, his rivals, even his customers. And once he knew their weak spots, he knew exactly which levers to pull. He wasn't just selling a product, he was selling solutions to their problems. And almost always, it was on his terms. And finally, we get to what might be his most critical skill of all: adaptation. I mean, in a market this ridiculously volatile, standing still was a death sentence. But Heisenberg didn't just survive, he thrived. And he did it by mastering the art of the pivot. In the business world, adaptability isn't just some nice-to-have skill. It's a flat-out survival mechanism. It's about sensing a threat before it hits you, spotting an opportunity that nobody else sees, and then having the guts to throw your entire plan out the window and change course. Walter White was the absolute textbook embodiment of this. I mean, just think about his journey for a second. When a rival like Tuco got way too unstable, he pivoted. When the partnership with Gus offered him a way to scale up, he adapted. Every single time he hit a wall, he didn't just try to smash through it. He found a totally new path forward. He was always analyzing, optimizing, and looking for a way to expand. So when you put all these pieces together, what do you actually get? Well, you get a formula. Let's go ahead and call it the Heisenberg formula, and let's break down the key takeaways right now. Okay, here it is, laid out plain and simple. Every single one of these core business principles maps directly to one of Heisenberg's methods. You've got the purity of the product, the power of the brand, his evolving channel control, and that relentless adaptability. It's not just a list of things, it's a complete interlocking system where every part supports the others. Ultimately, what this tells us is that Heisenberg's success was no accident. It was a formula. Product excellence, plus brand differentiation, plus channel control, plus adaptability. And here's the kicker. You take away just one of those pieces, and the whole empire just crumbles to dust. So look, the real lesson here obviously isn't about how to break bad. Of course not. It's about understanding the core principles you need to build something that's truly unbreakable. And that really just leaves one question for you to think about.